I am able. I am able. Because he's able. Therefore, I am able. Hallelujah. Okay, we're going to go to our next session. And as I've mentioned, the purpose of this part is for us to get assisted, to get the tools that we need, either in our businesses that are already operating, to take them to the next level, or even on our businesses that we still are just trying to figure out how to start. We've got a panelist here who are experts in the sectors, and they are going to be just giving us a snippet, a few minutes. So after they then speak, after all of them present in the sectors, we then are going to give and open the floor to you. So if you have any questions in the specific sectors, start writing them down, rule number 1, and just so that we can be able to have the conversation going. Hallelujah. Is everybody with me? Okay, so we're going to start with the agriculture sector. And for that, I'm going to call Miss Samgelisiwe Chunda. Can we please give her a round of applause?
Thank you, Program Director. Samgelisiwe Chunda is my name. Sibayeni Metro Farming is my business. And I come with my entourage from Sibayeni Metro Farming. Just so that you see we are alive, we exist. Hallelujah. Okay, I'll introduce the business while they get themselves ready. At Sibayeni Metro Farming, we are producing and selling, we're manufacturing and selling hydroponic systems. Hydroponic systems are the systems that we use for producing food. So it is what you see. Oh, my entourage is far behind. Okay, I thought they would stand here. Wonderful. Thank you, Mfundis. Okay. Hydroponic systems are the systems that we use. What you see here, it's only one picture, but we have different kinds of systems that we use in production. And the reason we're using different kinds of systems is because, by the way, I live in the city, I stay in Johannesburg, so you can understand what it means to have land, what it means to have water when you stay in Johannesburg, what it means to buy and employ, buy resources and employ people. So those things are very much expensive. I'm trying to find a good space where I can speak and I get a background. I'm sorry for that. I'll keep moving until I don't get a background. Okay, so our systems, this is one of those that help you to produce the food from the ground going up. So when you are doing this, you don't need the soil. You don't need hundreds of hectares of land. This house, this church, the place of wealth, is more than enough actually to give us a production that you do in a space of about 10 hectares. So when we have the systems in. And then we also have other different systems that we put on the ground. But also when you're using those ones, you also do not need the soil underground. So you prepare the soil. How we help you on that one, we don't just sell you a system and leave you. We also provide trainings. At Sibayeni Metro Farming, training is what we specialize on. And the reason for that is because all the people that you see by my side, they are graduates in agriculture, nature conservation, technology. I forgot the qualifications. Thank you so much. I'm sure next time I'll be able to remember all of them. In that sector. So we are able to work with them, and they are specialists in the agriculture to be able to help us to produce the systems and to run the trainings. The other part that we do at Sibayeni Metro Farming is providing what we call internship and experiential learning, where we take the young graduates. Remember, we live in South Africa where this thing called a job is somehow very rare. And I'm told it happens in all other countries as well, not only in South Africa. So we give an opportunity for 12 to 24 months for young graduates. Somebody who has a qualification or a BSc degree, a diploma in agriculture and nature conservation, in environmental management, technology, and so on. Then we bring them in, they stay with us, we get funding for that period when we are keeping those young people for that period. And then at the end of their term, they go out there, they have a skill to be able to start their own businesses or to go further and find find employment. Sibayeni Metro Farming is available on social media. As you see them here, when you go to our page, Sibayeni Metro Farming, they do presentations every week. I don't do it anymore, by the way. I've graduated. I didn't, it's not pension, I graduated. So they are the ones who are doing all the work at Sibayeni Metro Farming. You'll see their faces, you'll see the work they do. You will get to understand that what we are talking about, that we do, it is real. And they're improving every day. The way they came beginning of the year, it's completely different from now in October and as they exit the program. So that's what we do. Sibayeni Metro Farming, thank you.
Give her a round of applause. Thank you so much, team. So if you have any questions regarding Metro Farming, you can start jotting them down. The next sector is finance. We've broken it into two parts. We're going to start with business finance. Miss Busisiwe Hlabangwane is just going to come 5 minutes, just tell us a bit about what she does in finance. Please give her a round of applause.
Grace and peace be yours in abundance. My name is Busisiwe Hlabangwane, and I'm a director at BBTH Motors. We sell used and pre-owned vehicles, and we also sell service kits, car parts, and tires. So our desk is over there if you need a car or anything. And basically, I'm not going to be talking about BBTH Motors, but I will be talking about managing your business finances. So, because I'm given 5 minutes, so I will just be talking about 5 important things. It's not like only the 5, but I'm just going to talk about the 5, which is number 1 is paying yourself. What I've realized or what I've learned is that when you pay yourself, you are able to separate your business from your personal expenses. So it means that when you are paying yourself or when you are managing your business, you have to have your personal expenses separate from your operations. This will also help you to know the cost of your operations. So in order for your business to grow, you need to be able to pay yourself first so that you can pay your employees. I heard Mam Gobeni here saying that you need to pay your employees the right amount or according to the market. But you won't do that if you didn't start by paying yourself. So it would be so painful for you to pay another person if you are not able to pay yourself. So be able to start by paying yourself first. Number 2 is manage or grow your business. Growing your business is looking for opportunities. It doesn't mean that all the opportunities, because what I've realized is that small businesses, we tend to get or to dive into all the opportunities that come our way. So it's not all the opportunities that are good for your business. It might be good, but it's not good for your business. So you need to evaluate, to check, and to do your calculations properly, and to check your finances. If is it feasible, and does it have a return on investment? That's number 2. Number 3 is do not be afraid of getting loans. I heard she was saying also that you should take loans. So, but when you take your loan, you have to make sure that it's for business. So if you take your business loan, for example, you do not have to do it, or you do not finance your personal issues or your personal expenses, but you have to do what you have applied that loan for. So do not be afraid in taking loans. She also spoke about the government finances or government funding, which is a very great benefit for your business, because The government funding, they don't make you pay the whole 100% amount. So they might say 30% is a grant and then 70% you pay it off as a loan. So that is an option to go for. But it doesn't mean that you do not have to go to the private institution to get your loan, as long as you make sure that whatever that you said you want to do with that loan, you do that for the business, not for your personal. And number 4 is have a strategy for your billing. What you will also encounter in this business, or what you are encountering, or what you will experience, is that other clients are not paying on time. So this is really a problem with the small businesses, or even the large businesses as well, that other clients are not paying on time. So you need to strategize. To have a strategy, you need to offer value. So if you know that you have offered a person a value, you won't be scared to go to them and ask for your money. But if you're not giving them what they wanted, you will also be scared to go back to them and say, I need my money. So, so you have to also have a strategy. Like, for example, give a 50%. So you say you pay 50% before I deliver. Then you can get your money. Or maybe you have reminders that you are sending through. I know when you start our business, people who support us is the people that we know. And when people that we know, we are scared to go to them and say, I want my money. So, but we have to have a strategy, a reminder, like an automated reminder that will remind your clients of you paying you back your money. Because if you don't remind them, they definitely will forget, and they're not forgetting, but they choose to forget you. So always remind them, have a strategy. Number 5 is plan ahead. When you plan ahead, this will help you with your finances, because there will always be issues with your finances or with your business finances. This doesn't mean that you have to cater for all the issues that your business faces. So it means that you have to plan ahead for the future. I heard she was saying, so I'll be quoting whatever that she was saying because she was taking my slides here. So, but yeah, you have to plan ahead. You need to know, okay, this is my cost now, but will it still be the same when tomorrow or 5 years to come? So always plan ahead and make sure that your business is growing. Because the growth of your business is not in prayers, but is in you managing your business. It's in you planning. Even the Bible talks about planning. So if you fail to plan, you are also failing in your business. You won't be able to succeed in your business if you are not able to plan ahead. So plan ahead and make sure that your business is successful. Let's pray and be planning also. Thank you.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you very much, Ms. Busisiwe. Also in the finance sector, that was for finance from a business perspective, we're also going to have Ms. Treasure Meko, who's going to give us finance nuggets on individual financing, but she's also going to touch on 4IR. Let's please give her a round of applause.
Grace and peace, family. I receive Haifeli Treasure Meko. I am very passionate about people and digital transformation. And I'm going to, the MC has pressed me a bit, 7 minutes for both. But if your phone is on, if you have data on, I would like you to just have it ready, because one of the things I need to do is just give you at least one tool, even though we pressed for time, that you can use even after we leave here. So I lead Unlimited Treasure Solutions and GT Treasured Lives Foundation. We're fostering digital transformation, and we are now focusing very much in building India in Africa. What this means is that we are seeing that India is doing a lot of great work in the IT space, in the technology space, and we are learning the same and doing that for Africa. One of the things is training in Africa, for example. Are there young people in the house? So if you consider yourself young and you don't know what robotics is or what building a robot entails, if you see me after this and you are committed, happy to give you the training that even at the end of the day you will be RPA certified to work across the globe, and I can tell you the demand is big for RPA people and for artificial intelligence people. So if you're very much committed, I can guarantee you it will take you about 3 months to master it, and the chances are your employment will be guaranteed. So those are some of the things that we do. And I'm sure you have heard about ChatGPT, guys, right? Have you heard about ChatGPT? Okay, let's open something and do a quick practice so that when you go to work, you super outsmart them. And also when you have assignments, be it at school, even at work, right? Sometimes you're just on the way to a meeting, maybe it's in the energy sector and you don't know much about it. ChatGPT can assist you very much with that. How many people have their phones on? Chat.openai.com. Chat, yes. Chat.openai.com. Then press enter. It will take you to ask you to write something there. Chat, C-H-A-T, dot open, O-P-E-N-A-I, dot com. Yeah. When you get there, it will ask you to type something, right? I'm here to talk about 4IR. In 4IR, guys, 4IR is not necessarily IT. And I think I want to challenge all of you to understand what 4IR means in your space. In the space that we work in, for clients, for example, if I give a simple example in education, you used to apply, you get application forms, you send them, there's those long queues. Once we just implement something as simple as RPA and AI, it simply means you get in the system, you capture your information. The system, a bot is able to take that information, capture it, put everything in the right places. Before you know it, you are registered without a person's involvement. Right? I know people get scared of the fact that their jobs may be taken. When we do these things, we do what we call a benefit realization exercise, which will also show your HR where you need to go. In these days, we need to learn to be strategic. So your role may be taken, yes, but they will say, can you do strategy, and you run away because you think strategy is something bigger. Or can you do something else which is XYZ and you think it's bigger. So I want you to type there. Say, hi friend. Just type, hi friend. What does 4IR mean for? And then if you are in energy, type energy. If you are in education, type education. Just say, what does the number 4IR mean for my space? And then you would say energy. Oh, to sign up, just if you have a Gmail or any email, just say continue as that person. Sorry for those of you who didn't sign up. Please do sign up. If you have for those of you who have done that, someone typing there? Yes. What does 4IR mean? You were here for agriculture? You can say for agriculture, right? I tell you, it's working. I'm also a part-time lecturer in one of the global institutions. And one of the greatest things about it is that the assignments are very practical. So I get to see what people in China, in UK, US are saying about this. For example, a student was saying how they are now feeding their cattle using AI. They no longer have to go to those feeders. You know the feeders where you put everything for the cows and cattle for the cattle to eat. Then they don't have to go there and check. Sometimes you see your cattle running away from that thing. And you don't know why, or they're there for 1 minute and they run away. Then they use AI to monitor everything that happens. So a Mudisa doesn't have to go and try and look and all that. So it is in your space, it is in every space. So it is going to be very important that you understand what it means for you. Because even if you are in HR, right now recruitment is done differently, everything is done differently. So if you still need assistance, if you're a student and you don't know something about your topic, you go to GPT, and you type the question. You don't take everything as it is. You engage it. It becomes your friend. You say, oh, I see you saying this, but I need to understand the types of X, Y, Z. And then it gives you feedback and you say, but how about applying this in 1, 2, 3? After getting all that, the lessons, now you can do your assignment. Without talking to anyone, you don't plagiarize, you take the lessons and then you go do that. I'm giving a very minimal time, colleagues. If you need assistance, just come to me after and I'll assist you. It's my area of passion, people and digital transformation, and graduated, my MBA was more on the people side and my doctorate is more on the tech side. So just jumping over, even in all these things, because we have to talk about managing the finances, even in the 4IR world, we are bombarded with a lot. So we need to manage our finances. For example, now in the tech space, if you go now in your phone once, twice, thrice, and you just Google for shoes, before you know it, it's going to bombard you with shopping, right? You will wonder why you're getting things only about shopping. If you don't have good financial management, you are going to now think that everyone sees things about shopping. It's not everyone. If you once, twice, thrice, Google about the Word of God, it's going to bombard you with videos and things related to the Word of God. So your world is in your phone, but you need to check what you're doing, because you could be buying anything at any time, and you could be overloading your mind with a lot of things that are also not good because of that. It's called algorithms. So what you do twice, thrice, as we take that and we feed you just that. So be careful what you also search a lot. Just wrapping up on the finance side, guys, let us budget. I think the other speakers spoke about how we can make sure that there's what we save, what we invest. We don't save after, we don't save what's left. We decide what we want to save and work our budgets around that. And it's important that as you go save, make sure that you have saved for your dreams, you have saved for emergencies, you have saved for various things. And when you have saved, if your budget is 2,000 Rand, please make sure that you make a list. You don't go to the shop, because before you know it, you'll be embarrassed with a 5,000 trolley and you end up paying for it, and then you have lost all your other money. My time is up. Thank you very much for your time.
Can we give her a round of applause? And if, like me, your phone froze when she said we should open chat, my phone froze while I was opening it. She started off by saying that we can come and see her. So if you didn't get to a chance to explore it, I think she was also inviting you to make her your friend. Hallelujah. We're going to move on to the next sector, and I'm going to ask Mr. Sipho Mgwenya to come and speak to us about energy and technology. Can we give him a round of applause?
Family, hear me? Let me try that again. Grace and peace, family. I see. My name is Sipho Mgwenya. I am representing Tutuga Solar, which is a solar renewable energy company. I've got an example of my flyers that I've got at the back. We are actually exhibiting. After this, we'll be given an opportunity to go back and have a look at some of our offerings. Okay. Is that better? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to give a short presentation. I'm going to see my screen is already up. So Tutuga Solar speaks for itself. We are a renewable energy company. We do solar power. But firstly, before I go into the presentation, I just want to give a bit of background in terms of my journey in business, where I am, where I've come from. I see myself as a son of this house. We are really blessed with the teachings that we receive from this house, through the apostle, the vision that he's got, through the entire structure that is in place. So for many years, we've seen we've had a lot of sessions in terms of business, training us in terms of the importance of going into business. Why do we need to be in business? So a lot of these things that we mentioned this morning in previous sessions really speak to me because it's really just revision and it's reinforcing the belief that has been built into my spirit through the seed that was planted by the founder of the embassy. So the program director mentioned 3 rules. I only remember rule number 2, which is make friends. So in business, it's important to have networks, to have friends, to have people that you work with. So outside of this, even beyond, it's important that we make friends, and this is a great opportunity really for us to network, to connect. It's a pity that not as many numbers come through for these type of sessions, which are so impactful. But anyway, we make the most of it. I think it's really been impactful for myself and for my business going forward. A lot of the speakers and the businesses that came before us, Integrico and the rabbit farming business as well. There's a lot of interest that I've got in that, so I'll definitely be connecting with yourselves. So yeah, let's go. So just a bit of the contents in terms of what we're going to be covering today. So the brief was to cover energy. So I'll touch a bit on the energy outside of the solar industry, which operates within the energy industry. So we're going to be looking at the energy landscape. We're going to be looking at the impact of energy. Please remain on this slide. We're going to be looking at solar power as an alternative, which is really my passion. It's something that I love. I can sit and work until 2 a.m. Working on proposals, working on designs of systems. That's really the beauty of having passion in what you do. We'll touch on the technology, some of the stuff that we've done, looking at a bit of the components and where they've come from through the history of the industry, solutions, and then close with a conclusion. Thank you. Next slide. So in terms of the energy space, maybe I should start speaking about the elephant in the room. I don't know if it's in the room anymore, but load shedding. We've got grid issues, we've got power reliability issues in South Africa, where we having to have various stages of load shedding. In my later slides, you'll see some of the graphs and some of the information that, in terms of research that's been done on the different stages over the years and how it has gotten worse. We're hoping it's going to get better, but I think it might be a while before we get to that stage. So there's different sources of energy really that we need to, that are available out there. We've got the coal-fired power stations, which is the main source of power, which is really holding the base load in the country. We've got solar power, obviously. We've got nuclear power in different forms. There's pebble-based nuclear. There's all sorts of other spaces that I'm not an expert in. Hydropower, diesel generators, waste to energy. My wife happens to be in this space. It's really a growing sector. There's a lot of opportunity in this. Then we look at energy efficiency. Anything that's got to do with energy, you really need to look at the efficiencies to make sure that you optimize the system. Hence, I included that point there. And then we'll touch on the big users in South Africa. So, just back, my friend, if I can ask you to go back, Baba. So this is a breakdown of really the users in the sector. It might not be big enough for you to see, but the blue big portion of the pie is manufacturing in SA. I should actually open my version here. And that is the biggest user. The biggest user is the manufacturing industry. Obviously, it's quite intensive in terms of the power that is required there. And the percentage there is about 65%, if I'm not mistaken. then the next user in terms of size of consumption, you're looking at residential users, so our houses. And then from there, you've got, I'm battling to see the other sectors, but you've got then agriculture, you've got other areas in that space as well. Thank you. Next slide. So in terms of the impact of energy on the GDP, I thought this would be important just to look at. When we started having the heavy loads or heavy stages of load shedding, we would have seen that we had to adjust our lives really. We had to run around and look for gas bottles if you didn't own a gas bottle, gas stoves if you didn't have a gas stove. If it was in winter, you needed to make sure that you've got a gas heater. There's a lot of things that we had to do. Some people then obviously looked at solar power. Those are the different options that we had to look at, but I found that the gas solutions were the quickest to acquire, obviously, because people would not have had time necessarily to plan for the big investments that you need to look at on a bigger solution like a solar solution. Some of the other issues you need to look at that had an impact is food production. The agriculture sector is affected quite greatly because they use sprinkler systems to water their crops. So that had a lot of impact in terms of that. And it's an industry that's really looking at alternative solutions to make sure that they keep things running there, to make sure that the food security is maintained in the country, to feed into the various value chain. So this graph that you see on the left-hand side is really looking at the stages. So from 2015, it builds up all the way to 2022. You see that obviously it was stage 1 in the left-hand side. And then as you move further to the other, to closer to 2022, it started picking up, and the intensity of the stages really started increasing up to stage 6, which is what we've been seeing of late. The graph on the right-hand side, speaking to the GDP, we have various research houses that contributed to the slide. So you're looking at minus 0.2% GDP, all the way to 3%, minus 3% in terms of the impact on GDP. So if we were supposed to be growing at 6% and we achieved 3%, with that negative 3%, it means we lost it purely because we're not productive, and we've been affected that negatively as a country. So it's quite a major one. Simple things like making a phone call when there's no network, when there's no load shedding, it's a big issue. We've had to adapt and work around it, but there are solutions that were in place. For instance, there were backup batteries for the towers, but because of theft, these get stolen. So the companies decided not to replace these batteries anymore. So we've got a double whammy in terms of that. Next slide. So solar power as an alternative. This is really my baby. This is my passion. Maybe while I'm waiting for the next image, I'll talk about how we came into the industry. I've been in this business since 2015, starting out with the solar heating technology, which is your solar geyser. So we started doing your different type of solutions where there was the flat plates, and then migrated from the flat plates to the tubes. And as the technology has been improving, we've had to make sure that we stay on top of the trends and the solutions in terms of what's most efficient, what's most cost-effective for the clients. We currently have a solution I'll show you in the later slides where we actually use the same solar panels that light the houses, the buildings, the office parks to actually power your geyser in the home. That's how advanced it's now become, by just simply integrating a controller that will be able to convert the DC power, converting it to usable AC power within the house. There's quite a lot that's happening in that space. It's a solution that we're using. It's not widespread, but we've taken that on board. So if you look at some of the points that I've raised here in terms of the solar power as an alternative, a good example of the progress that's been made and the adoption of solar power is when you look at the Gauteng Premier's initiative that is actually currently underway. We've tried to also, stay abreast of all of these by attending a lot of the sessions so that we are in the know, even if we may not necessarily be involved in the projects, but it's good to know what's happening in the space. Hopefully we do get some projects from that. So there is a drive to actually power Gauteng public hospitals with solar rooftop solar solutions. In addition to that, your clinics, your schools, your public schools, and any other government buildings. So there's a lot of work that's going on in the background that we are speaking into. We are consulting and we are giving input as an industry partner, as an industry member. We try to give inputs in terms of the direction that these things are going. So we really try to keep our fingers on the pulse. The one thing about solar power is that it's reliable, predictable power. So if you look at, for instance, the grid, you have to wait for a notification to say load shedding is, you're going to stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, at whatever notice. If there's an emergency, that can, it can be at any time. So with a solar system that you've got in your house, you actually are in control because you know the percentage of your battery. You know what the weather is going to be like, for instance, in terms of how much can you generate. You adjust your behavior. If you know that it's cloudy, for example, on any given day, you will make sure that you use your battery as carefully as possible. You still will generate charging for the battery, but you obviously need to adjust your usage patterns. Next slide, please. Some of the benefits of solar power, just to run through these. As a country, South Africa, as a continent as Africa, South Africa has got one of the highest levels of radiation in the world, which means how much sunlight that's usable are we actually getting. So we are well positioned to be able to take advantage of solar as a solution to make sure that we've got control of our power requirements. It's 100% free in terms of pollution from a generation perspective once you've installed the system. Some will argue that the manufacturing process of those components is not, free of pollution, but the actual use and application of the technology is pollution-free. We obviously need to work around in terms of recycling, how we mitigate all of those factors. If a solar system is sized correctly, through what we do in terms of designing a system, you are able to actually run off of the grid without needing to power your home, office. You can actually run 100% off grid. So you use the panels and you've got the batteries as a backup, where at night you'll be able to use the batteries that the power that's been stored to feed into your system, into your house, into whatever the load is going to be. If you are a green conscious person, you reduce your carbon footprint, you mitigate climate change. We've seen a lot of weather changes over the years that are as a result of climate change. So we need to try and do our part in terms of making sure that we mitigate that as much as possible. Next slide, please. So this slide, it's various images. It's a bit of a mess of a slide. It's just to really show you and speak to some of the components that are that we work with. This particular image, if you look at it, you've got a 10 kilowatt system. 10 kilowatts meaning it's able to run through 10 kilowatts of power in terms of generating, in terms of charging, in terms of feeding into the house. It's paired together with a 10 kilowatt battery. And this is an installation that we did in Pretoria East. It's got panels which can generate up to 4,000 watts at a given time. So this system is effectively off-grid. You just keep Eskom as really the backup if need be. Because it's cheaper to charge using the panels. You charge your batteries, you use the batteries at night, you repeat the cycle the next day using the battery that the same power that was stored in the battery using the sun. So what you do is we try to design the system to make sure that it minimizes the dependence on the grid because it's the most cost-effective aspect. So you'll see, if you can move to the next images. Next. Next. The image on the bottom left corner of your screen is actually a solar geyser system that I was referring to. You actually using the solar panels to charge directly the element that's in the geyser. So there's no moving parts, there's no water, there's no plumbing that's running from your tubes, your panels that we used to have of old. So within, obviously you can't see this part, there's the controller which is inside the roof, between the roof and the ceiling, which is actually doing the conversion of the charging into the house, and the controller where you can control when you want it to charge, to heat the water, or to override it if you feel that you need a bit more, higher temperatures in terms of the temperature in the tank. So these are just some of the systems that we've got. So they range from 3 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt. We are comfortable with the space of 3 kilowatts up to 600 kilowatts, which is quite a big system. A hospital can run on 200, 300 kilowatt. With the partners that we've got and the partnerships that we've got, the friends that we've got across the border, we've installed various systems up to 4 megawatts. So we do have the capability to be able to do those. So from a domestic residential perspective, from a commercial perspective, we really have you covered. Next slide. I think that is the second last slide. I've touched on this already, so it's just really a list of some of our solutions from residential to commercial solar systems, design and installation. Covers a lot of these. So we can look at the efficiency as well. The efficiency speaks to converting your globes, for example, to make sure that they're as efficient as possible, use the least amount of power, so that your system is actually, you stretch the life of your system by managing how much you are demanding from the system. I think that is my last slide. Thank you very much for your time.
We give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have any questions that you are thinking about when we have our Q&A session around energy, he'll be the person assisting us. We're going to have the health sector. I'd like us to give a round of applause for Dr. Nano.
Grace and peace. Grace and peace be yours in abundance. I also receive. I'll be talking on health, but as a dentist, I decided I'll talk on oral health and let the medical doctors address the health sector. I'll just focus on what I do best, oral health. So what I'll be talking about, I'm going to be very brief and short, but mainly I want to show the importance of going to a dentist every 6 months. What I've realized with our community, in fact, the whole world, they only go to a dentist when there's a toothache. We don't want to treat problems. We want to prevent the problems. So, this thing they brought me here. In my presentation, I'll try to show you what is healthy and what is not healthy. Because most of us are going around with so many things that are not healthy, but we have normalized them and we believe it's healthy. And it's not healthy. So first, let me show you what is a healthy oral cavity. You see this picture here? This is what you call a healthy oral cavity. We're not talking about a beautiful smile. Healthy oral cavity, because people, they believe a beautiful smile is a healthy smile. No. There are very beautiful smile with very wrong things in the mouth. The healthy mouth, the gums are pink, and the texture is like an orange peel. Have you seen an orange lemon? Have you seen the texture of an orange? If your gums appear like that, that is healthy. If they're not like that, come see me after this presentation in my truck. How do you see it? When you take your finger and rub your gums to make them dry, they should appear like an orange peel. If they're not like that, I'm here for you today, outside. It means something is not right. So how much? Consultation is 300 today. Only. If you come to my surgery, it's 700. But outside here is 300. And then I'll run quickly and show you what is not healthy. Bleeding gums. People go around with bleeding gums. You know what? My gums are always bleeding. That is not healthy. There is no way that bleeding gums can be healthy. It's not healthy. Loose teeth. People are like, yo, you know, this tooth has been loose for 5 years now. That is not healthy. But we normalize it and we believe it's healthy. It's not healthy. And then bad breath. With bad breath, there are two different types. There's one that comes from an oral health that is not clean, but there's bad breath that comes from systemic conditions that we have, like diabetes, high blood, and many more others. But bad breath is not healthy. We don't normalize it and eat bubble gums or chewing gums. You come see me and I treat that. And then some sores in the mouth. Like I said, all these things are not healthy, but we normalize them. Like, you know, I always have this small white thing in my mouth. Come see me, stop walking around with my son's school fees. Let me quickly show you the pictures. This is not healthy. But trust me, we have people who walk around for years like this. I'll be like, no, I normally rinse and keep a sharp. You don't rinse, you come see me. I need to deal with this. It's not healthy. This. Why do you let your teeth stand up for Jesus? This is not healthy. Before you get to my age, you have lost all these teeth. But trust me when I say we have people walking around like this and they believe it's normal. And the problem with us, we even make it a family thing. You know, my mother was like this and my grandfather. It means your mother was not seeing me regularly. It's not hereditary. It's not normal. You need to consult with your dentist every 6 months. These patches that we see in the mouth, this can be due to stress, can be due to bad oral health. In most cases, it's stress related. But in other cases, again, it's due to bad oral cavity and oral whatever. This sores on the tongues. People have this all the time. And they believe it's normal. It's not normal. I'm here to tell you that all these things I'm playing here, it's not normal. And if you were to see me every 6 months, this wouldn't be a case in your mouth. Also this. God gave us white teeth. This one, it was not part of God's plan. And I'm here to correct this. This is not normal. The stains on our teeth, whether it's coffee related, food that we eat, it's not normal. And God gave us knowledge so that we can correct this. So if you see this in your mouth, there is a bathroom here at the back and outside. Go check yourself. If this is present somehow, come see me. But the most important thing I want to talk about is how does oral health, the general health, well-being, Yamoto, how do they work together with the oral health? In so many cases, I've seen patients, they get up diagnosed with different medical conditions, but it was picked up through the oral cavity. You see a patient this month with bad gum disease, you treat the patient, and after 6 months recall, the condition is still the same. You treat the same thing, after 6 months the same, and then you realize this must be originating from somewhere. So I'll show you just 10 medical conditions that some of them, we pick them on a dental chair. That after treating the patient, we tell the patient, I think you can go to a medical doctor and consult. This is not only oral health related, it's medical health related. Number one, high blood pressure. Patients with high blood pressure, they have bleeding gums, they have dry mouth, and bad breath. Like I said, some of them we treat the bad breath. You prescribe all the mouthwash, the Colgates, everything that you think can work. But the patient still complains of the same thing. And it's not only bad breath, even the gums, everything in the mouth tells you that there's an underlying condition after this. So like I'm saying, seeing your dentist is very important. I've had so many patients that I have to refer to the doctor that your condition is not only oral health related. go see a medical doctor, and then they come back and they tell you, doctor, I was diagnosed with high blood. So again, high blood, it increases the development of gum disease. So you come every 6 months, but there's no change in your condition, then we know that there's an underlying condition. The second one, the heart disease as well. Most patients with, remember the pictures I show you that it's not healthy. When you have all those, the bleeding, the loose teeth, the patches in the mouth, we call that state periodontitis. Most patients with periodontitis are likely to have heart disease. If you have all that in one, there's bleeding gums, the teeth are loose, but you regularly see your dentist, then there is an underlying condition. We know that this cannot only be dental related. That's why we call Dr. Mashifane, please check this patient and see if, do the blood count, see if there is no underlying condition, because the dental is not getting better after so many consultations. I'll just run quickly through them. I won't be reading everything. Diabetes. Patients with diabetes, they also suffer periodontitis. They have dry mouth, bad breath, calculus, plaque, all these things, they are there around the teeth. You watch the patient who has diabetes today, you clean the mouth today. Next week when you call the patient, the plaque is there again. It cannot be normal. Next week again is the same thing. Then you realize this, where this thing is coming from as a diabetic patient, because they are tried, there's not enough circulation of saliva in the mouth to clean the teeth. So they accumulate plaque on their teeth and then it turns to calculus. So even diabetes as well also plays a role in the gum disease and the state of the mouth. The kidney disease. With patients by kidney, you will see after doing extraction, a patient coming back like, doctor, where you did extraction, I'm not getting healed. You treat the socket, put all the medication you can think of, prescribe all the antibiotics and do everything. Next week again, they call, doctor, the socket is still painful. Then you know that something is not right. And you check the medical history, the patient will know, I'm fine, I don't have any chronic condition, I'm not taking any medication. But there and there you know, this cannot be only oral health related. Let me refer you to the medical doctor or your GP to go assess you. And then they come back and tell you, doctor, I have this problem. So it is very important to come see me. Because Dr. Mashifane is here. We will work hand in hand. And then the next, again, lung disease. It also increases the amount of bacteria in the mouth. Like I said, all these conditions, they are the same. Because you see it when you treat the patient, but there is no progress, there is no change. What you treat this week, next week you're still dealing with it. There is an underlying condition. Lung disease is one of them. Just allow me to run quickly. Obesity, excessive body fat. Obesity increases the risk of developing periodontitis as well. Fat cells produce proteins, and then that causes the bacteria in the mouth. So all these things, like I said, we pick them on a dental chair. Because as a dentist, before I can treat a patient, I need to know your medical history. I need to know, are you on any chronic medication? Do you have any underlying condition that I should know about before I can continue treating the teeth? But in most cases, patient will no, I have nothing, I've never been to a doctor in 5 years, and then you pick some things like this. And then if you are fortunate enough, we pick them at an early stage, and then you can still get treatment. Osteoporosis is the bone, when bone becomes brittle and fragile. And then also it presents as loose teeth. Remember the picture I showed you of teeth hanging? Those people is the same thing. You can find that other people, the mouth is very clean. There is no plaque, there is no calculus, but there is a lot of bone loss. There and there, as a dentist, I start concluding that it cannot be oral related. If the mouth is this clean and the patient comes for a 6 months regular visit, but there's so much bone loss, there should be an underlying condition causing the bone loss. So we refer as well that please see your GP, and then I'll see you after your consultation with the GP. Then rheumatoid arthritis also increases the chance of developing gum disease. Also having gum disease increases chance of developing rheumatic arthritis. Both of them, You have gum disease, it causes the same. You have rheumatic arthritis, it causes the gum disease. So we also pick it from the dental chair when you come for your consultation. Anemia, lack of red blood cells, presents as pale or sore on gums. Remember I said you should rub your gums and see if it's not orange peel. With others, it's not really that you have a problem at the gum. It could be anemia. Because like I said, you can present with a very clean oral health cavity, oral mouth, no plaque, no calculus, flow of saliva is normal, but the gums, they look pale. Then we diagnose from there that there's something beyond your oral health problem. HIV, we all know it, thrush on the tongue is white, so, yeah. So, in conclusion, dentist is not only to take the teeth out. And now I've also set a rule in my surgery. I don't take teeth out. I don't even know how to take them out. I create healthy smiles. So if you have a teeth problem, don't come to me for extraction. I fix. Modimo ka se o fe meno 32 ya banna ke tlo a fokotsa. Never. If God gave you 32, we keep them 32 in the mouth. And you visit your dentist every 6 months, not when there is a problem. Come before there is a problem. Take home message. Dental visit costs less if done frequently. But hey, if you see me when there is a problem, I get to buy another dental track with your money. Because I was talking to Ms. Chunda earlier on. She saw me 2 years back. Problem I was just going to cost 600 rand. 600 rand. But now where she's sitting, she's going to give me 12,000 rand for that treatment. It's not a joke. 2 years back when she came to me, it was 600 just to correct and put things in order. So she took 6 years, 2 years, 3 years actually. Now when she sits on my dental chair, thank you. I need that 12,000 rand to pay the school fees and buy another mobile truck. So if you see me frequently, you pay less. But if you take time, thank you so much.
Can we give her a round of applause? Just to remind us of rule number 3. Rule number 3 said, no monyu. Can you turn to the person next to you and smile? It's not sabi because of what Dr. Nano just said. Let's just check that no monyu. We're checking rule number 3. And then just turn to the person next to you and smile. Dr. Nano. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take some questions in any of the sectors that have been represented. Your question can be anything. If there's anything that they have mentioned, if there's anything that you know of in the sector that they've spoken of and you just want to know more, as I mentioned, they will answer to the best of their ability. So can I see anybody who may have hands in any of, for any of our panelists who have questions? We have the team assisting us with the mics. Remember, this is the time for you to also get a bit of tools and resources for yourself. So if there's anybody with a question. Wow, were the presentations that well, that detailed? I'm going to give it a few minutes. Just 1 more minute. Any questions? Anybody who has a question? There's a question. Breaking the ice. Thank you very much. All right, we're still just trying to arrange a mic for them. Okay.
Grace and peace be yours in abundance, Pastor. My questions are going to go to the first presenter about hydroponics. The first question I have is that how healthy is it to eat these kinds of foods? I've learned that We have some genetically modified foods or organisms before, and sometimes they say they are not good for our health. So I just want to ask if what's the status in as far as these kinds of foods are concerned. The second one is about that since this is a business, a farming business, how profitable is it? You can't hear me. Maybe the microphone is low.
Yes. Maybe if you can just stand and you can come closer. Just so that we can, yes, please. Maybe let's try again the first question.
Okay, the first question is about that. How healthy is it to eat these foods produced from hydroponics? Maybe we've just heard that GMOs are not so healthy. What about these foods? How healthy are they? Number two is that since this is a farming business, how profitable is it? Or what's the value of this business in as far as inputs, the infrastructure, and all the stuff that is needed is concerned? The last question is about that. Oh, I'm losing the last one. Okay, let me go to the dentist. In as far as the dentist is concerned, my questions are, how much is it to uproot one tooth? And another thing is that, do you open on weekends? We usually have a problem on weekends. There are no more toothache problems on weekends. And the last one is, I think this one is very important. Which toothpaste and toothbrushes do you recommend? We have different shapes and different sizes, more especially as far as the toothbrushes are concerned. Some are shaped this way and that way. Some are rugged, some are flat on the side, flat at the bulged at the center. So maybe if you can give us some advice on which ones are the best.
Very much. Very good questions. Very, very good questions. Maybe let's answer those questions because there was a few for the health sector and agriculture, and then we'll take a second round of questions.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I actually wanted to ask my students to respond, but then she said time. Okay, on the question of the health in terms of the systems, I indicated, though I had very few minutes, that in our system we do not use the soil. And that's one of the reasons for using the system. You are able to eliminate the problems that you find in the soil. So what happens in the soil is you find pests, you find insects, you find aphids, you find all sorts of worms and all those things. And to solve that, farmers, they get chemicals to spray the vegetables. The one thing that we cannot confirm is if I used chemicals to kill aphids in your spinach, if you eat it 2 weeks later, the chemical will not affect you. Hence, we run away from using the soil. We also do not use the chemicals. Therefore, what we give you is healthy. I hope you understand the process. So we take away the things that create problems. And then the second part of the profitability, it is profitable. Put my foot down. It is very much profitable. Remember, to start a business in agriculture, it's like any other business. By the way, I'm talking about a business in agriculture. I'm not talking about a hobby. There's a difference. There are those ones who get into agriculture as a hobby because my grandmother was doing it. That one is not profitable. You want to produce so that you have food at night for the family. And then there's the one that we do for business. I indicated when I started that I live in Johannesburg, where I'm staying. The land, just the land, to get a 5-hectare land, you actually need about 10 million for it. 10 million. Million. You need 10 million to get the land. Okay, maybe you need 1 hectare. Let's say you need 2 million to get the land. And then you need to put in tractors to prepare the ground, put in irrigation systems, employ people who will work the ground, buy the seeds, prepare seedlings or buy the seedlings, have tunnels. You know, it's a long story and it takes a lot of money for you to start the business. Tell me if there's any young person who's 22 today interested in, just graduated and interested in starting a business in agriculture, who has 20 million in their pocket to start. They don't have. So to make it easy, we say, use the land that you have, whether it's your front yard, not backyard, front yard, your garage, or you build a tunnel on the side, or you use a warehouse if you have a warehouse, but whatever space that you have, we count it in square meters. So where you are sitting right now, you are actually sitting in a space where we could be producing food for the week for us. So we reduce the amount of space that you use. And when we reduce that, remember, a person who is planting in 50 hectares means your workers must be many, because they must wake up in the morning. There must be someone at hectare number 7 and at hectare number 21, hectare 49, and so on. That's a lot. But when the system is right here, you are working here, it means then your problems are less. The number of people that you need to water, to remove weeds, to put in fertilizers and so on, they are few. You also need to put fertilizers for your plants to grow daily, okay, maybe weekly. In planting in the ground, you count it in 50 kg bags. So you must carry that big bag of fertilizers. With us, you only scoop with a teaspoon. You see the one that you use on your table, it's in your kitchen right now. That's the size, the amount of fertilizers that we require for you to put in the system. So you see how much you're saving. So the system itself, to put it up, I might tell you that the amount goes to $1 million, but it's nothing. It's not even a tenth of what you require when you want to do commercial farming on the land. And then in terms of profitability, I said, because you removed the problems, it means you have less risk. What you have produced, you have every chance of getting 100% or 95% of what you have produced. Remember, when you plant in the ground, you have a lot of problems. You might not harvest everything that you planted, if at all, especially because in South Africa it's hot and we have floods and so on. So you might not harvest everything, so you lose in that way. But in this system, it's collected, so it's easy to monitor, and you have a chance of harvesting 100% and sell everything and make money. Also, that you're not going to pay a big bill of water or buying generators to pump water from, if you have a borehole or you have a dam or whatever. You're not doing all those things because we give you reservoirs and you fill that reservoir once a week. So while I'm here, my system is running. It's a plug and play, like your microwave in the house. So it runs by itself. Even if you are lazy like me, I wear white, I put on heels when I go to the farm. It still works properly, you know, and I'm still able to produce 100% and be able to sell and make profit out of it. Thank you.
Okay, you asked 3 questions, right? How much is to take the tooth out? I don't know. If you had my presentation, I said, I don't take teeth out, I fix them. And the tooth that pains or weakened, I have a solution for that. I have a mobile dental clinic. I'll come to your house 12 p.m. but at a cost. Because most of the people, they get toothache at night. That's why there's a mobile truck. So I come to your house at night and fix that problem in the comfort of your house. Number 3, the toothpaste to use. The only thing we need in a toothpaste is a fluoride. That's the only thing we need in a toothpaste, a fluoride. The rest is just the ingredients for taste, for flavor, but We need fluoride in a toothpaste. Any toothpaste that has fluoride is the one that we need for the teeth, because we need fluoride to strengthen our teeth, to prevent cavities, and yeah. And the teeth brush, most people, they believe the hard toothbrush is the one that cleans the teeth, but that's the one that destroys the teeth a lot. You need a soft brush and not a thick brush. If you will come to the truck, I will show you the kind of brush you need. Very thin that can go to that last tooth there at the back. Not the thick one, very thin. Come to the truck, we'll show you which one you need. And you change it every 3 months at the most. Not after a year, I say, the bristles are all over the place. No. After 3 months, you change your toothbrush for hygiene purposes and also for it to clean your teeth properly. Did I answer you, sir? Thank you.
Being told that lunch is ready, so can we take the last round of questions? We've got 1, 2, 3. I'm seeing your hand. If the team can help us with the mics quickly, just so that we can get to this round of questions.
Grace and peace be you in abundance.
I receive grace and peace be yours in abundance.
Amen. Kamala Mustelo Hlajwayo. Just have a question for Mr. Sipongwenya. I just want to check, since you do installations, Zama solar panels, so on your site, is there a need from some of your clients for a safety file, for an instance? So if there is a need, I do offer the service. I'm a health and safety consultant. So that's the...
So that was much of a question. I will respond by, we can exchange details later. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, you people. My name, by the way, is Sianda. My question is directly straight to the doctor, the dentist. There is something that is very fascinating, which is I want to know regarding the teeth. Do you hear me properly? Okay, that's all right, cool. There are teeth that you are saying that they are hanging, so to say. I'm wondering that those teeth, do they happen? You will see when you're growing. When you're growing, your teeth are normal in your gums. As you're aging, you also identify those things that the teeth are hanging, so to say. Is it those things of hanging the teeth, it's because of you aging or because of you don't take care of?
All right. To answer that, I did say 1, it can be underlying condition, 2, it can be due to bad oral health, and then 3 also can be due to aging. If you have realized with people growing, an old woman, the minute I age over, they shrink and become small. So is the face. The face shrinks, so let the bone resorb and the teeth starts hanging. That's why they lose their teeth when they grow up. So that is allowed in old age. In our age, come to me.
Grace and peace be yours in abundance.
Thank you.
I received. My question is to the gentleman about the alternative of energy. What I would like for you is to just break it down for us as lay people as possible. I'm having 2 questions for you. The first one would be, what are the costs of the setup of that solar energy for a normal house? And the second question is, please break it down in kilowatts, the different systems that you were talking about. And the second question is, would solar energy totally annihilate the need of the hydropower kind of energy? Because we are building homes, we are concerned about the prices of the hydro thing because it keeps going up and it's a total inconvenience for some of us. So please actually give us a proper kind of, in these 2 questions that I have for you. Thank you.
Can we take another question before you respond, Papa?
Me? Okay. Grace and peace, family. This question is for Dr. Smile. Okay, so we hear a lot of misconceptions about what types of foods or habits we have that are unhealthy for our teeth or disrupt our oral health. Can you please talk about some of the things that we do on a daily basis that damage our teeth? Like, for example, eating ice, like chewing ice, Can you please help me with that? I'm gonna say it again. Okay. Can you please talk about some of our daily habits that we do that damage our teeth, and also the types of foods that we eat that damage our teeth? Like, yes, there's the usual sweets and everything, but can you talk about the small things like chewing ice damages your teeth? Can you please give us more information on that?
Okay. We'll allow Mr. Mgwenya to respond to the first question.
Thank you for the question, Baba. If I'm correct, you want to know the general pricing of the system, the kilowatts of the systems, and the third one is the hydropower, if you can totally replace it. So the pricing is different for each application. So for an average house, a 5 kilowatt system is generally enough. Not to go off grid, but you're able to live without any interruption of power. You can run, your TV, your lights, your microwave, your washing machine, everything in the house effectively on a 5 kilowatt system. So you just pair it with a battery that's sized enough. So if you've got a battery on average, a lithium battery is 5.1 kilowatt hour. So that generally is enough for the average home. If you want to be able to do more things at the same time, you can then add a second battery. So the systems are very flexible. So you can upgrade. You can actually start a system with just a battery and an inverter, which is a backup system, and then it charges with Eskom or with whatever source of power that you've got, right? And then you can add the panels then at a later stage. You can increase the number of panels as well at a later stage. You can then add a second inverter. When we do the installation, we make sure that we look for items that are compatible for scaling up, so that it's not just one and then you have to replace now, start all over again. The kilowatts, 5 kilowatt for a household, 5 kilowatt, 8 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt system is good, and 8 kilowatt can even run the stove. So those are the considerations you need to look at. A 5 kilowatt will not be able to run the stove, but the 8 kilowatt, 10 kilowatt will be able to include a stove. The geyser, either the stove or the geyser. So the only issue then becomes the budget. The more money you've got, you can run anything and everything. Hydropower, I think some of this was answered in the previous one, where if you've got the budget, you can totally run your house off of the grid. More batteries, more panels, or bigger batteries, bigger panels, bigger array of panels, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the question. With regard to what to eat and what not to eat, that is not a problem. Because people who know me, I think I drink more than 8 cups of coffee every day, but I don't have yellow teeth, I have white teeth. If you can open my bag in front, there are more than 10 sweets. If you open my car, it's a Cadbury's. Do you understand what I'm saying? The problem is not taking care of your teeth. Brushing every night, flossing, using a mouthwash, because what we eat, yes, does affect our teeth, but if you don't take care of our teeth, then that's the problem. Am I making sense? We drink coffee, but at night you have to wash your teeth. If you don't clean your teeth, coffee stains the teeth. It stays in the mouth and gets to sit around the teeth and then turns the teeth yellow. I drink coffee. After drinking coffee, I rinse my mouth with water. When I leave here, the first thing I do when I get home is to drink my coffee. But after that, I rinse my mouth. Before I go to bed, I brush my teeth, I use a dental floss, I use a mouthwash. So it's not in what we eat, it's in what we don't do to take care of our teeth. Am I answering your question? Because if we were to say avoid coffee, but take care of your teeth and come for your regular 6 months appointment so that you don't pay a lot of money, like in Mechunda.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been pressed for time. I'm being pressed really, really for time. Can we take just the last round of questions? If there is, if you'd like to also direct a question to our speakers, you can do so. This is the last round, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I see hands. Please, a minute each. Well, a few seconds.
Grace and peace. My question goes to, I didn't get her name, but the lady in the yellow. Yeah. Yes, 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 sir. My concern is with ChatGPT because now I'm noticing, as a student myself, I'm noticing that first years specifically, they don't really, like when they have research modules and other stuff, they don't really do the work anymore. They just put the question in ChatGPT and then it gets processed and then just copy and paste or ask ChatGPT to rephrase so that they don't get caught with plagiarism. So my question is now, is it a good thing that ChatGPT is there? Because I know that it's evolving. Like now, with a new feature, now you can actually have a voice call with ChatGPT, like a physical call with it. So my question is it a good thing going into the future that we have ChatGPT? Thank you.
Last question. Gonna get the last question. Last question.
Grace and peace, family. My question is directed to the dentist to say, with the young ones or with the kids, at what age should we introduce them to brushing their teeth? That's one. Then the second one is to say, as they grow, at what age should they start visiting you or paying visits to the dentist?
Okay, thank you for that question. It's a very good one. There's nothing wrong with ChatGPT. As with most of the things, it's how you use it. So it is allowed, it actually enables you. So I mentioned that I'm also a part-time lecturer. So if you're going to put a question from the question paper from ChatGPT, and then it gives you the answer, and you immediately just take that, paste that, you'll be caught. So now, because technology is improving, you know that there's Turnitin, right? So it's also improving on the other side. So there's also softwares that can assist you as a student to rephrase. But the main thing around ChatGPT is for you to get the knowledge. Yes, you can type the question. For example, you don't know anything about it. You are a first year student. They ask you about automation in your doctorate. Maybe you're trying to study dentistry. You don't know much. Is the first place, is your first friend who can give you more information. You read what they say, and you're able to engage it, to say, oh, how about this? Oh, how do you use it when you do X, Y, Z? You're able to have a conversation with someone. That someone is ChatGPT. Then you take the important things, you need to then rewrite. So technology is there to enable us. We don't have, even when coming to self-driving cars, for example, you're gonna have a self-driving car, but we're gonna need to do some things, right? Even when you automate a process in HR for recruitment, at some point someone needs to interact with someone needs, we call it human in the loop. So as a student, then you are that human in the loop who needs to ask it the right questions, let it assist you. If you are smart enough, you can do that assignment, and yes, maybe 50–60% of your assignment is done. But the question is, you're still going to be assessed. Did you read through that? Did you critically understand, analyze what they're saying and all that? So there's nothing wrong with the program. It assists you very much so, even when you do homeworks and even in business. Right now, when you need to do a presentation, the first thing, someone was talking about when you're in a business and you are ops CEO, or you still don't have the money yet to hire all these different people. It assists you, it enables you to do things quicker, but it's not the only thing. You can't just say, do a presentation for me on finance for non-financial people, and you just take everything that is there. People will see that this person doesn't know what he's talking about. So you still need to do the work. It just enables you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for the question. The first one, when do we start cleaning the kids, the teeth? And when do they start their visit to the dentist? Number one, you start cleaning them from birth. There's a brush that now we sell. You put it on your finger. It's like rubber. You clean their tongue with it. Kids, they drink milk, and if you don't clean their tongue, babale oral thrush. So that's how you start cleaning from birth. With that brush, you clean their tongue every time after they drink milk. Number two, the minute there is one tooth in that mouth, that's where my job description starts. You don't bring them when all the teeth are brown, you'll also traumatize. The minute there's a tooth in the mouth, you start bringing kids for their visits, for their cleaning, for everything. Not when everything is out of control. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I please ask that we end it here with the questions? Can we give the panelists a round of applause? Woo! And can you then give yourselves a round of applause as we rise? Thank you so much. We've reached the second part, the end of it. We're just going to take a lunch break. And then after the break, we are going to have some competitions. You don't want to miss this. Businesses will be on the stage and they'll be battling it out for a competition. So please do return, let's say 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, we can already make our way in. Thank you so, so much. Enjoy lunch.